Yo, what is up, Sexy Beast? Crazy Rabbit here, and today I'm just going to be explaining to you guys the ending cutscene in GOROD KROVI, so let's go ahead and get this shit started. So the ending cutscene was pretty important, but the main thing, like the main course, was actually after the cutscene with the dialogue with Dr. Monty. But let's go ahead and talk about the cutscene and then we'll get into that.
You think you will kill me now? I am sorry, Nikolai. I wish there was another way. But know this, in my heart, I share the same pain as you. The pain that you have buried and blurred beneath an alcohol-fueled haze. Yes, the pain of your own memory. You loved and you lost. Everything else has been delusional fantasy that distance you from painful truth. You know what I speak of. You remember, before the bombs fell, before she was taken from us. Some things are forgotten for a reason!
So the cutscene starts off with Nikolai 2.0 approaching Nikolai 1.0, and we kind of get a glimpse at Nikolai's past. We kind of learn about why he acts this way, why his behavior is like this, and it's not just because of 115, it's because he lost someone very, very important to him. And we can only assume that it was maybe one of his wives, and of course, which one would mean the most to you? Probably your first one. So we can only assume that during the war, at some point, he lost his wife. Maybe it was actually in Stalingrad. Maybe it was way before that. Who really knows at what point he lost his wife? But it does seem like he lost his first wife, and that's kind of the reason for his drinking and his behavior. This kind of explains maybe back in World War why he actually murdered and basically did all these terrible things to his other wives, probably because they just couldn't compare to his original wife, so he really didn't care for him that much, so he would marry for political gain. And eventually when Stalin heard word of this, he sent him to the front lines, and then the rest of the storyline, you know, kind of writes itself. But at this moment, right now, we learn the reason for Nikolai's drinking and the reason for Nikolai's behavior, and when 2.0 brings that up, Nikolai 1.0 don't like that and tries to shoot him, but Nikolai 2.0 is too badass and just ends up ending Nikolai's life.
It is done. The souls have been collected, Maxis. We will see you soon.
And then Richtofen comes up, grabs his soul, and says, Maxis, I have the souls, I'm ready, we'll see you soon, and sends the souls up. But the only souls that are in there are Nikolai, Takio, and Dempsey's. Richtofen's was not in there. Why was Richtofen's not in there? Where's Richtofen's original soul? Did he even grab it in the giant? Because we didn't see really anything in the giant, and that could have just been because they didn't want to spoil anything. Or did Richtofen do something else? That is the million-dollar question, and we probably won't know until the next DLC or unless we find some more interesting things in the map. But as of now, we do know that Richtofen's soul did not go up there, so Richtofen must have done something to it. And I have a couple theories which I will make separate videos on of what I think Richtofen was doing. So at the end of the Easter egg, we get kind of a teaser for the next DLC, and then we go back to the game, and then Dr. Monty is talking, and he only talks to the three characters and not Richtofen.
Okay, Nikolai, Dempsey, Takio, I'm only talking to you right now. Richthofen, he can't hear me, so he's probably off doing his own thing right now anyway. No change there, I suppose. The good news is, you're nearly done. It'll soon be time to come to the house.
He basically says he really doesn't trust Richtofen, but he kind of had to use him for this plan. And right now, as of GOROD KROVI, Richtofen is just a unnecessary suspense. He doesn't really need Richtofen anymore. Richtofen has done everything that he's needed to do, and he no longer needs him. And he says, the time is almost ready for you guys to come to the house.
But this plan, this big plan, a lot of it's been riding on Richtofen. Before he caught up with you guys, he spent years traveling, searching out just the right versions of you. The ones who held the key to closing off the other dimensions. I think you know by now exactly what that entails.
And he also basically confirms that Richtofen spent many, many years, I mean, this was actually confirmed back in The Giant, but he basically says Richtofen has spent many years searching for the exact copies of the exact characters that he needed to kill to basically solve everything.
Point is, he's kind of surplus to requirements these days. He's been in the house for ages. But don't tell him. Anyway, it all makes sense when you get here. You'll see. Honestly, it's going to be fine. Oh, shit. I completely forgot to introduce myself. Oh, sorry. I'm Dr. Monty. Hello. So nice to see you all.
And then he goes on to say that Richtofen is actually in the house, but he doesn't know it yet, so don't tell him. Which is very, very interesting because if we go back to Richtofen's memories, I think this was actually, I don't know if this was for Zetsubo Nishima or for this map, but Richtofen says that he's just trying to do the right thing, which I honestly believe. I think Richtofen is desperately trying to do the right thing.
My name is Edward Richtofen, and I have been trying so very hard to do the right thing. Long ago, I made a promise, a vow, to protect him. He thinks I do not know, but I do. The blood will protect me.
And he also says he made a promise to someone a long time ago, and we really don't know who that is. I can only assume it's going to be Maxis, but we still don't know who that is. But the most interesting part about the Richtofen memories thing was when Richtofen says, he thinks I do not know, but I do, the blood will protect me. So these blood vials are to protect Richtofen from Dr. Monty. That's what he's going to use them for, is to protect himself against Dr. Monty. He maybe knows about everything that Dr. Monty has planned for him or is going to do to him. So maybe Richtofen actually knows that he's in the house, or whatever this house is. If this house is even a house, it might just be a regular house. It could mean something completely different for how they're using it. We really just don't know anything about the house. I mean, we do know a little bit about it, how all these people are there and how it's supposed to be like a safe place. But other than that, we don't know where it is or really what it is. And we also don't know, why is Richtofen there? Could it just be Eddie? Could it be Richtofen 1.0? Is that why Richtofen 1.0's soul was not in there? Is it because he's actually in the house and Dr. Monty thinks Richtofen doesn't know, but Richtofen actually does? There's just so many questions that we actually got at the end of this that I can't wait till DLC 4. I think it's going to be amazing. I just want DLC 4 right now. Like, just give it to me right now. But I guess we will have to wait, and I have tons of theories about blood vials, about the house, and about everything else. So I'm very curious to know, what do you guys think of this map so far? So if you guys could, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Peace.